In this final conversation, we're sharing heartfelt reflections, biblical truths, and personal stories about cultivating life giving friendships rooted in Christ. If you've ever wondered how to be a better friend or how to find godly friends who truly see you, this episode is for you. Let's jump into it with Life with Meg and Jen. Hey guys, welcome to Life with Meg and Jen. This is the last episode about friendships, but for the rest of time, we'll be talking about friendships because it is so important. Yeah. So we're just going to dive in today. We're just kind of wrapping up everything. We have talked about the characteristics of friendships. We have given you some great visual examples of bras to keep in your mind always.
For forever, every day that you put your bra on, I hope you think of your friend and us.
Yeah. But last week we were kind of ending and we were talking about the seasons of life. And I just had some notes that I wanted to talk about. Relationships vary with the seasons and stages of life. We've talked about that. But all we take into eternity, okay, so think about this. The only thing we take into eternity is our relationship with God and each other.
Wow.
Yeah.
Explain.
You will, how you treat people, how you love people, we will recognize each other in heaven.
That's a hard one for me. Because there's no sadness in heaven.
But we'll recognize it. Why would there be sadness if we recognize it?
I don't know. I guess I think
Are you
like
gonna
the
be
people
sad
that
if
are
you
left.
see me?
No! No! Especially in heaven. I guess
Yes.
it's just like,
Well, our perspective is so earthly.
Yeah, I know.
We have to take it out of that. But that is,
Sure, yeah.
how we treat each other is a huge part of kingdom living.
Yeah.
And so we take.
Okay.
Yeah. So
if you're not cheating.
We take those.
If you're not cheating. If you're not treating people well here.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. What? Oh, sorry.
I know.
There's also 3 levels of relationships. So these are just kind of quick things that we want to talk about, but we don't have to spend a lot of time on. But in the back of your mind, they're really good to think on. The 3 levels of relationship is heart, personal, and functional. And I think those important to look at when you're thinking about friendships.
Mm-hmm.
Even Jesus had ones that he was particularly close to, like John, Peter, and there was anyway. Listen, I'm not a theologian, so I don't.
No, yeah.
But I think there was 3 very close ones. Yes.
So then all.
Yes. Yeah. Then his personal friendships were the disciples.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget, Judas was one of those.
Yeah. Because he had a purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's the functional group. And for us, I would say that'd probably be a lot of our acquaintances.
Social,
the more social kind of people. It was the multitude for Jesus,
Because I think about that often, and I tell my kids that, like, who are your people? Who, if you were caught off guard, I'm just saying, did something that you epic failed, for instance, if you snuck out at night, no one knew, and you got in trouble, who would you call?
Right, yeah.
Who would you know in a drop of a hat, without a doubt, without a judgment, bam, they're there, you know? Like, that's your people.
Yeah.
And yes, again, different reasons, different seasons, all the things, there are some that I'll be like, oh, I call for this, and I'll do it, but it's very important.
I think I know not a ton of people, I did not realize this, I'm going to say that. I am still close to my childhood friends. Like, there is a group of us, and, that is very small and tight, and a little bit bigger, and a little bit bigger. That's how I'm going to describe it. There's kind of 3 levels of friendships within that group, from kindergarten through senior year, that we have been friends. We are intentional with checking in. Now, it may be once a year.
You know what? For
But
that, I'm listening to you, but you have lived a life of one home,
yes,
consistent life.
yes, and my friends did as well. Over the past week, I've been thinking about that. Like, my friends' parents, you know, were still married. Like, most of them, not all of them, but most of them. But through their school age years, they were. We all had very solid homes. We all stayed in.
So you had very good examples.
We had good examples of relationships. We did not, you know, we all grew up from kindergarten through, you know, with not a lot of moving away, or you know what I'm saying? Like there was just, no, we didn't change schools. There wasn't a lot of that or anything. There was.
Sorry.
See, no, that's okay. I do get
because you said that made me think. You know, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like. I don't have that. I don't have that solid little kid friendship that grew up. You know, I mean, I have sisters and and cousins and things, but I didn't have that stability.
But I didn't realize that was such a odd thing.
Yeah,
you know, who knew? But also, I'm not in a season of life that I was in with them. When we were in school,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Right. So no, we don't go hang out all the time. We don't do this, and we don't. I don't talk to them every day. But there is such a relationship there that is there's a loyalty there, even outside of. I'm not going to have conversations with them like I have with Megan that are biblical, even necessarily, you know, because we all were raised very different backgrounds as far as all that goes. But there's still something to be said about those relationships. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. But it's important to look at all of that. And I think just because we've been talking about friendships, it's made me sit and really look at things and go, okay, well, are you doing is what you need to be doing? Are you sharing Jesus the way you need to be sharing Jesus? Because, listen, those girls know me, and they know me well. They know me outside of the Jesus me. You know, but they also know the me that knew Jesus when I was young. You know, that you kind of walk through in and out when you're, you know, in those high school years, whatever. Am I now at this age, am I pointing them to Jesus? Because I failed at that in high school when I really could have. You probably, how do I say it without being, I knew Jesus young, and I was very bold in my faith. And I mean, I would tell teachers, I'm not watching that. I can't do that. I'm not going to speak like that. I'm not, until it finally got to where it was like, you know, whatever. And that's probably one of the biggest regrets I have of my high school life is I had people in my life that I should have been pointing to Jesus, and I wasn't. Have they found Jesus since then? Yes. And I thank God every day that they have, but there's just a lot of times where I look at it and go, man, I missed it.
Yeah.
Which is, it's okay. I mean, God's, you know, it's part of my story and part of my life, but like if retrospect, you know, when you look back, if I knew now what I knew then, kind of a thing, man, you know.
I know.
So I don't want to miss the opportunity now in any relationship I have to be pointing back to Jesus. And am I surrounding myself with people that are building me up and pointing me to Jesus?
Right. Living it out in front of everyone. Yeah. Just had a conversation with someone earlier today that was my prayer for Broken was that people would come and they would immediately feel the presence of the Lord. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's by the way we speak, it's by the music, but I often have people that say that, like, oh, you can feel the presence of the Lord here, or just, or immediately.
Or like, they don't even know what it is, and they're just like, man, I just love coming here. I just need to come in.
Yeah, it's so fun. I love it. But I think about that too. Like, I was saying that today. I was like, I prayed that over Broken, but
am I praying that for myself?
Yeah. Everywhere I go,
we're called to be atmosphere shifters. Like, we need to carry the kingdom of heaven everywhere we go. Yeah. If it's in us, then we walk in a room, and that's what should be there.
Absolutely.
But it's hard to remember. When you're in the trenches of things,
or Walmart, or
just all the things that are happening. But friendships so help that. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I have a little quote here. I don't even know where it came from, so I'm not whatever. It says, "If there are seeds of courage living in all of us, waiting to bloom, then words are the sun and water that cheer on those seeds to their fullness." So if there's something in Megan that it's planted, but it needs encouragement, it needs growth, my words are going to be the sun and water for that to bloom.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that.
Even at your lowest, where you think you can't go on and no one can help, a kind word can go a long way to heal, to rescue, to help you finish, and sometimes to even just start. Which I feel like for us, we kept talking each other up for probably a year, you know?
Yeah.
And then
there's always been a desire for you as far as the teaching, and you're very with it with the video part. I have the desire as far as like the Lord gives me things.
Yeah, these great little modern day parables.
I love that. Modern day parable. And but same, like, I have such a heart and love for people, and like I said before, I want to be that person for someone that I needed at that stage or in that time, and so I think the Lord has grown that in both of us, but also this with the opportunities. It's just really been neat to see it.
And we're just gonna do it and see what happens.
That's right.
And even if it's just us talking to the video, that's good enough.
We're doing it for you, Lord.
You need to remember that your words matter. Your words matter in all of your relationships.
You have power,
whether
in
they
your
are
tongue
small,
to speak life or death.
Yes. Then the statements you make to others, the ones that get planted in people and cause something new to grow, that require a little more courage, they matter. Like, it matters. People's dreams matter.
Oh yeah.
And that's a big, big thing with me, is people's dreams.
Absolutely.
Visions for their life.
Purpose.
And if I am not being a blessing and encouraging those things in people, that's just, to me, that's one of the biggest parts of friendship.
Yeah, because I think in that area you can become a hindrance.
Oh, for sure.
If you're not loving them, encouraging them, lifting them, you're either stopping it by not saying anything, or if you speak the wrong thing and negative, you're holding them back.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just, you can feel foolish about saying something, but sometimes people just need, to be pulled in tight and say, look, I see you. I just want to tell you, go for it.
Yeah.
Or
you add fuel to the fire.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah,
I mean, like, if they've got a little ember there, you can either blow it and grow it, or suffocate it.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's
so good.
And that's part of being that supportive friend.
Absolutely.
So not only do we want to look for the support, we need to be this girl. this nasty, worn out, worn in.
The go-to.
Yes. This sucker
The
will
OG.
hold you up and hold you in.
Yeah.
And, you know, like,
Yeah.
you do want to be this little thing.
Yeah. Evaluate your friendships.
Yes.
Love and serve your people well.
Yeah. Yes.
Give
Amen.
them the support that they need through your
Yes.
sports girl.
And you can be bright and colorful while doing it. You do not have to be grandma gray beige.
That's right. Fun. Look out loud.
Yes.
I love it. That's so good.
So, thanks, guys. We really appreciate you joining us for this whole long mini episodes about friendship. So be sure you subscribe and like and hit that bell notification so that you know the next time that we upload. And we don't know what we're going to do next.
Stay tuned.
But it'll be good. So make sure you're coming back for more.
Share this with your friends.
Yes, share. So that we aren't just talking to the screen. Be a good friend. Support us.
That's right. Be a sports girl.
Yes. See you later, guys. Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us throughout this friendship series. We pray these conversations have encouraged you, challenged you, and reminded you of the beauty of Christ-centered relationships. Whether you listen to one episode or the whole series, we're grateful for you, and we hope you walk away knowing you are deeply loved and never alone. Here's to finding and becoming the kind of friend who always points others back to Jesus. And next week, we're diving into 1 Corinthians 10:13 and talking about temptation, endurance, and the faithfulness of God in the middle of our struggles. You won't want to miss it.